This video is brought to you by Ravenscraft Realty of Northeast Missouri.
Ravenscraft Realty, boys, south side of Palmyra. Also on the south side of Palmyra right now is me. I got back from Columbia for my summer job at Bradford like a half hour ago. Now I'm heading to a farm that we have on Highway 168 east of town to work it down so I can plant it tomorrow. Got the 520 and the Salford. And here we are. Grandpa already ran this place over. Well, not really ran it over. Worked it over with 8400 in the blade to fix some small ditches that we had. Seatbelt off. Out of gear. Warning lights off. We don't need those. And I'll start unfolding here. I gotta be like every other YouTube kid farmer and get out. Take a thumbnail picture here real quick. The past couple weeks have been kind of crazy for me, being overseas and all, and now summer job kind of deal, and feels good to be back on a farm that I'm familiar with a tractor that I like. Hashtag views.
Planted some beans today. We had another good rain here just after Memorial Day. Anywhere from an inch to 2 inches, so we're on some better drying ground. It was previously in rye. We actually ran over this with a Salford twice. They had cattle out here. Cattle tend to create a little bit of compaction out there, so to help work that out, we hit it with a Salford, kind of shear everything up. Otherwise, going pretty good. Still got a couple of days of corn planting left. Down the bottom, so take a little time for the low spots to dry out. So we're hitting the high ground first. Go from there. Hopefully tomorrow I'll put Chase in this tractor and I'll go plant some corn. A couple of videos ago, Chase had an O-ring blow, I believe on the one right in front of me, and I got out to pick up a rock. Had a steady stream of oil coming out. As you can tell, it's over the tire, over the bottom of the tractor. And I had an O-ring blow as well. So I'm actually right across the highway from Side and Shaker. So went and got one of these. Must have just happened. I haven't really lost any oil to speak of. But the way it was going, it would. So put this back together and finish my field.
Bright and early at 8:25 in the morning. Getting to the tractor and the planter. Hopefully we get some acres done today. We're getting on the road, and hopefully we can get about 220 acres done today between the two places. And it's already warm. It's only, 8:30 in the morning. I don't like fences because when you have fences, you have to be careful you don't hit the gates with equipment. First world problems. When you're doing end rows, you can knock out acres a lot quicker than you think. Like I'm already at like 4 acres and haven't been here very long, still on my first pass of end rows. It's kind of fun to throw down a marker and see how good I can get with my end rows and my ability to drive straight. Now there's some people that'll tell you, you don't need no markers. You can just set a line, bro. Yeah, you need markers. This is Missouri, guys. Over there is our neighbor's bean planting rig. It's a Case 1070 with a John Deere 1560 drill. Just like my 4020 and my 6-row, it'll plant 60 bushel beans too, and those beans are still worth $18, and there's no payments associated with a rig like that. Now way over there is our neighbor's other bean planting rig, which is a 7250 Magnum with a Kinsey 3600. Oh my gosh, guys. I might actually line up with this riser. Wait, never mind. It's not gonna work. Oh, I just ran into the cap. I really thought just one time I would make it. Nope. Not gonna happen, not for me. I missed the riser, just not the giant yellow thing that is always in the way. Oh well. Am I gonna make it? I think I am. Very happy right now. It is very, very rare for your planter to actually line up with the riser, especially planting beans, because we designed these terraces on like 180 foot centers or something like that, because our corn planter is 60 feet wide. 60 times 3 is 180, so theoretically it's supposed to line up with something at least, but bean planter, 40 feet wide, I don't think, yeah, it doesn't go into 180 evenly, so it is what it is. Usually there's a nice big wet spot right there, but this year, for whatever reason, it's not there. Unfortunately, it shows it in our boundary, so what we're gonna do is turn our section control off, and now we can plant through it, because otherwise we had our section control on. If we went through there, it would not plant because it's outside of the boundary. And there we go, we planted through it. And turn the section control back on so that we don't overplant on our end rows. And with that, we have 62.6 acres planted before noon. Pretty good. I'm not sure of the status of the other piece I'm supposed to start planting today. If our main man Rob has gotten part of it worked, at least I could get started on it. But I am going to go home, fuel the tractor up because I currently have a quarter tank, and put some DEF in it as well. And then I'll see where we're at. Also, I need to get seed, so that'll take a decent amount of time. Fun times getting some seed put in. Thank goodness for remote controls and automatic south conduction. Hello, May. I know I want to take you with me, but you shed. No doggy hair in the cab. Rob and I are both down here working on this farm. Running the Salford over these corn stalks to help break up some of the compaction that we made running the dozer and the track hoe. And same as before, I'm planting beans. As a side note, this farm is kind of wet, not because of a lot of rain. This is a Menfro kind of soil, and it just is naturally kind of seepy and wet, and all these pesky trees being here don't help that either. Now we are going to go across the river or the creek and plant a bottom field. We'll come back across to plant this bottom field. One screenshot, and I'll set the planter down on the water, see if I can get any beans to come up down here. Both bottom fields are done. I think I did a decent job. And now we're going to start on the big field here, and a lot of end rows. A lot of end rows. I will actually update you guys with how many acres of end rows there are. I'm willing to bet at least 25, maybe more. But I'm going to have to get seed here before too terribly long. I'll probably be able to do my end rows and then get seed. So I'll have to give mom or my sister a call and have them bring a seed tender, or come and get me so I can get the seed tender. On this farm, there are two very distinct and very different soil types. There's this darker colored stuff here closer to the bottom of the hill, and I'll show you the other soil type once we get up to where it is. Actually, you can kind of see right here where the color changes, and you can see that line on the yield map as well. Up here on top of the hill, the soil is significantly lighter in color, and it's very well drained. Unfortunately, well-drained soil, Marion County, Missouri, equals Menfro, equals terraces, and terraces are fun. And when you're planting over a terrace like I am right now, you just gotta let the planter flex a little bit. I know that's the most Northeast Missouri thing that anyone's ever said about farming. Just let the planter flex. You know, if every acre I farmed was in East Central Illinois, where you don't need section control, I might be tempted to buy a brand new 1765 12-row planter and specifically say to not get section control, just so I can flex on all the poor Missouri farmers just trying to make a living. The total acres for end roses in on this field, 30 acres of end rows. That's what I've been doing for the past like hour and 15 minutes is end rows, following a mark. Fun stuff. I suppose it could be worse though. It could be a bunch of different little fields. Not important. Don't worry about it. I am committing some major planting sins right now. Straight over the terraces, you know, as one does. The parallel arms have left the chat. The tanks on this planter are translucent-ish, so when you have the sun at your back, you can see how much seed you have left, and I do not have very much left. So I'm gonna go sit by the road and wait until Mom brings me the seed tender, and she's also bringing me supper from the Rebel Pig, pulled pork sandwiches. Yes. You can see that nice red pickup. That's my mom with seed tender, so big thanks to her for making all this work. Well, we were pretty well out of seed here in this one, and this one had some left, but not enough to do the other, 75 acres here. And so we have seed, and I ate 2 pulled pork sandwiches. Life is pretty good. Man, that truck sounds good. Woo! Now the sun's going down behind me. I'm sitting right at 176 acres for the day. It's not as high as I maybe wanted it to be, just because it was in 2 farms that were pretty far away from each other. And this running, also not the best. And it's only gonna get worse from here, because down there's a bunch of short rows that are like a couple 100 yards long, and I have to do it with markers because those terraces are really too big to be going over with the planter. I was able to get away with it here on these contour terraces just because they're short enough-ish that the planter is able to flex over them a little. And all in all, it hadn't gone too terribly bad today. I guess it could be worse. On the ends, I like to slow down to 5 miles an hour so I can actually get myself turned around, because 80 feet, not quite enough to get this big boy completely squared up with plenty of space if you're going 7 miles an hour. There the sun actually finally came out. And down she goes. I couldn't resist. I got to get out and take a thumbnail picture, because this is a pretty sick view. No more east-west rows. Time to turn the lights on, get on these terraces over here, and then down that hill is going to be the fun stuff. I'm going to be glad that I have these stupid markers, because apparently markers are useless, allegedly. By the count of the monitor and the tractor, we got 220 acres done today, and I've got 180 acres that I want to get done tomorrow before I go back to Columbia. So hopefully, all things going to plan, that'll put me at 400 acres of beans done this weekend, which will be about 1/10 of our bean acres in 2 days, 2 kind of sort of days. But anyways, I am going to get tractor home, and I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to go to bed. I got more bean seed put in the tender here a couple minutes ago, and now Rob and I are moving the tender over to the farm I'm gonna plant. As the squealing of the tires on this truck suggests, this tender is rather heavy. It's like a giant sail that's black. Got 180 acres to plant today, and then it's back to Columbia. Grandpa is out there with the 8400 and the blade, working on a terrace. And Justin is up there with the Salford, getting the rest of it worked down. Excuse me? You guys don't look like soybeans. Hey, can you guys please move? Get it? Because they're cows and they say moo. Please move out of the way. I think they got the idea. I just filled up with seed and I was going along and telling me I'm not planting. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I did some investigating and I had forgotten to turn both of the back meters or both of the vacuums on. So that would be why the planter was not planting, because those are supposed to be on. Those are on hydraulics 3 and 4. Oops. At least it's not right by the highway. I kind of sent it through that little wet spot there. As long as I don't go into there, it'll be okay. But I planted end rows around that whole spot. I'm not sure why I did that now, because I was able to get through at least part of it. Mom to the rescue again. She's bringing me fuel. Man, this seed tender is nice.
I'm in some nice half-mile rows here in the bottom. Still in the corn planter. Yes, it's June. Still planting corn. Only got just half a day left today. But talk about rain again tonight. It rained earlier in the week, inch or better. So just try to finish up. Pretty nice laying field, other than there's a low spot there that's holding water. And somewhere back over there, there's another one. We're not too far from the Mississippi, and it's, I wouldn't call it high. It's certainly not low. We're just below technical flood stage. So at that level, we get some water, seep water in some of these fields closer to the levee. That's something you have to deal with. Farmer in the river bottom. Getting along okay today. Got along okay yesterday. Chase planting beans here again today. So between the two of us, we're gonna have a pretty good chunk knocked out this weekend.
Any planter can be a high-speed planter. Now we're unfortunately getting into some short rows because this stupid waterway with stupid trees in it is in this field. If it weren't for that, this would be half-mile rows just like everything over there. But, you know, conservation. I like to slow down and come to a stop. And actually, I'm probably going to have to back up here so I can get cranked around. Short rows just make everything difficult. I like to avoid hitting trees, because last time I hit a tree, it kind of messed up one of the row units. Last year though, so get set back down and then speed back up to the magic 9. There we go. And that's how you turn the planter around. Many years ago, this field actually used to be like 3 different fields, and until very recently it was 2 different fields. I mean, they laid together, but the landlord and us were doing it on shares at that point, and now we're just straight cash renting it, so there's no need to split things up evenly. And the third field, I mean, okay, this has been like 15 years ago, but the third field was at it was split with a tree row where one of the terraces is now, and there's some pretty big trees in there. We set her down, make sure everything lists for that. That sound means that it's planting. All right, we're coming to the end of this pass, which is going to be the final pass for the weekend. We'll have done right at 389 acres. I'm pretty proud. And wait for our sections to shut off, lift up, and that's all she wrote. I'm gonna get my lights turned on, the warning lights that is, and we're gonna get down the road. I'd say 176 acres today. I started at like 10 o'clock and filled up with seed twice. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm extremely happy with progress this weekend. We've got like a day, like a half a day of corn left-ish. And then from there on out, it's just beans, and Dad will be able to take care of that, and it should go pretty quick. So in the monitor, this farm is called White Barn, and the White Barn is now painted silver, so we're gonna have to change the name in the monitor. Hashtag Green Star problems. Where there's standing water, I kind of had to go around that. Really wasn't too keen on cleaning mud out of the gauge wheels again. Dad wants the 345 and the planter parked here in the shop. The weather people are talking about some chances for rain tonight, tomorrow night maybe. And if that comes to pass, grease up the planter and it'll be just fine. Every time I put the cover for this conveyor back on, the seed talc gets on my hands and it looks like I've been eating like Hostess or Little Debbie or whatever mini donuts. You guys know what time it is in the video. When I pet the dog goodbye on Sundays, that means we're going back to Columbia. Well, my beans look all right, even through the alfalfa, or what's left of the alfalfa. And landlord's yard looks good. And the other beans, they look all right too. There's starting to be some weed pressure. But the beans out in this field right here, man, they look like they're planted with auto steer. Even though they're planted with a 40-20 and a 6-row planter. I just like to remind everybody of that. I am very proud. I just passed the Ravenscraft Realty sign here by Monroe City, and you guys are looking for a place, John will fix you up. He's a good guy. I also have nothing but good things to say about my HISEA Outdoors work boots. I won't endorse something or say something's good if I don't actually think it's good. Like, I wear them every day, or nearly every day when I'm working, and I like them. I can't find a single bad thing to say about them, I really can't. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, subscribe, drop a like if you so care, and tell someone about it. Mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, little cousins, nieces, nephews, even friends perhaps. But anyhow, that's gonna be it for this video, because I got work during the week because I'm a blue collar boy. Yep, shipping out tomorrow to weld on the pipeline because I just graduated State Tech, bud. But no disrespect to welders, no disrespect. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. I lied, it's actually not the end of the video. Down here at Bradford, I'm in the B block pulling flags out of a field at the farm, which is me and my coworkers, not the researchers, are getting to put into bulk production, which is the grain that we get to sell to make money. And this was used for research last year, so there's obviously a bunch of flags. And one of the researchers is down there, and he's planting. He's got a really cool setup, and drive by and see if he'll let me video it for a second. Planting some sort of plot here with a Kinsey 3000 4-row with interplants on it, going with a Case IH 110C. That is my dream planter right there. Most important rule of research farming: don't drive through the fields. Always drive through the grass, and don't do anything unless you're absolutely, positively 110% sure it's okay. The reason that you're not supposed to do anything unless you're positively sure is because fields like this, like last year, there was some research going on there that was worth well over 6 figures. You really don't want to be the person that screws that up. One of my other coworkers is disking down corn stalks with a Case IH 496 disc and a 125 Maxim. I actually was doing that earlier, but I neglected to video any of it. Now I have orders to use the 1086. Yep, my favorite tractor ever. And it's John Deere field cultivator to work down some seed beds for some dry planting, which is a research kind of deal. We'll drag a 6-row planter across it so that the researchers have a clear row to plant their actual research seeds into. No radio, no doors, no problems. My favorite tractor ever. We in neutral? Yeah, we're in park. Do I have steering? Oh, I have steering. Do I have hydraulics? Maybe. Oh, we have hydraulics too? This is great. I know I love the Disc International and 1086s, but the engine in this thing freaking rocks, and it sounds amazing. I was trying to easily cross this ditch and the front weights on the tractor fell off, so that's nice. Well, we got the front weights that fell off, drug out of the way. We'll fix it later. But this cultivator not quite doing the job we want, so we're gonna have to use the other one and then get to our dry planting. So, whew, what a day. Here's our dry planting rig. It's a John Deere 4230, 18434 rears. 7,000 with a updated, I think that's like a Kinsey style marker system. And when I say dry planting, like I did earlier, that means we're just not putting any seed down. This is so that researchers can come and hand plant it at a later date. There's one little field that I need to disc before I go home, and then I'm gonna go home and edit this video, and that'll be that. Update, too wet to disc. I am calling it quits for today.